Good evening, everyone. My name is Matthew McCoy. I'm the district clerk for the school district. Will everybody please rise and for the pledge of Ms. Politi. I will call the roll. Mr. Burgarelli?
Here.
Mr. Duray? Mr. Howard? Mr. Levenstein?
Here.
Ms. Politi?
Here.
I will ask the board to entertain a motion to add an item to the agenda. That item would be to appoint Matthew McCoy as Chair Pro Tem.
Second.
Is there any discussion? To add Mr. Duray? Yes. Mr. Howard? Yes. Mr. Levenstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Mr. Burgarelli?
Yes.
Entertain a motion on Chair Pro Tem Matthew McCoy. Second? Second. This is the actual vote on it. Mr. Howard? Yes. Mr. Levenstein? Yes. Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Mr. Burgarelli? Yes. Mr. Duray? Yes. Thank you. At this point in time, board, we're at 2.1. As a clerk, I received resignations from 4 board members on Friday. So I'm going to open up the floor for the board's discussion on board member vacancies and board officer vacancies. Mr. Howard.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. I would like to yield to our board attorney and ask him what are the options available to us with this situation as far as filling vacancies?
With respect to the vacancies on the board, in a small city school district, the board may choose not to add people to the board or to add people to the board, and to do so would require a vote of a majority of the remaining board members. So in this very limited situation, 3 board members could appoint the next board member or members. With respect to the vacancies in the offices of President and Vice President, the law does require that there be a President. Vice President's an optional office. It's been in office in this district always. So that would be done in the same way you do it at the annual organizational meeting. The board also can, with respect to filling vacancies, use a method that would be deemed reasonable. So there are a variety of things that might be done that way. Sometimes there's a look to the last election and, who were the interested parties and the vote getters. Sometimes interest is solicited through an all call, which is to reach out to the community and to ask interested people to submit their letters of interest, and the board could then review those in executive session and decide who they would like to interview for being a board member, and to do so at an open meeting of the board. Those interviews would take place in an open meeting. You could also call for a special election, and that's usually done at the very beginning of a school year, not in February or March, and you would have to give at least 45 days notice at this point in time. So that would be the expense of an election for just a couple of months, and the board members who would be seated to fill the vacancies would only be seated until the elections in May, and all of those seats would yield newly elected members. It isn't that they're seated for the remaining terms of the people who vacated the board. I think that's about everything.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
So the ways that was marked to add some board members, so there's not just 5, where we need to have 5 to even open a meeting. I would hope that we could use the last election that we had and continue on that list to the people that did not qualify at that point and use that as a drawing pot for people to add on.
Mr. Howard?
I agree with my colleague. I think that's the fairest, me personally, I think that would be a fair way to address those vacancies, being that those individuals were elected or they were voted on by the public. I think that would give us an opportunity to be as fair as possible and I guess go for the first was 3. So that would be whoever the order of finish. I would assume that would be the direction that we would go in. If we take that direction, Mr. Shaw, what number are we looking for? 6, 7, 8, or 9?
Well, you have the ability to fill seats on the board. It's a 9-person board, so you could fill it up to 9, or you could fill it with fewer than 9 right now, but it's always a good idea to have an odd number so that, you know, you don't end up with tie votes.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
We're going to need to hear from more. We don't have a majority yet.
Could we put out, are we at the discussion stage right now in regards to what direction we will like to undertake as a board?
Yes, sir.
For filling those vacancies? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Bergarelli?
How would we go about reaching out to those other individuals from the last election? Would that be one of us, superintendent, board clerk, attorney?
I think that would be an appropriate action for the district clerk, who has a lot of experience in terms of reaching out to people and keeping notes that would be notes of the district. It's my opinion.
Mr. Howard?
If I'm acting accordingly, I would ask, would the chair entertain a motion on how we go forward filling the vacancies?
Yes, sir.
I would like to move that we use the last period of elections results to try to obtain individuals from that list to fulfill the vacancies until the next period of elections.
There's a motion and a second for the clerk to reach out to the people that were from the last election to determine if they're interested in filling the vacancies. That's the motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that? Ms. Politi.
I agree with my colleagues that feels like the most honorable and democratic way to fill the positions.
Any other discussion on how we should fill the board vacancies? Okay. I'm going to call the roll. Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Levenstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Doré?
Yes.
Okay, that item passes. That leaves us with the board officer vacancies. At this point, there's no president or vice president. So Chair Pro Tem, I will entertain a motion to appoint a president for the year. Mr. Howard.
Yes, I would like to nominate Mr. John DeRay as president of the board until the next period of elections.
Are there any other nominations for president of the board? Hearing none, I will call the roll for Mr. DeRay to be president of the board. Mr. Levenstein.
Yes.
Ms. Politi.
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli.
Yes.
Mr. Doré. Yes. Mr. Howard.
Yes.
That item passes. I will now administer the oath of office to Mr. DeRay as president of the board. Mr. DeRay, will you please stand and raise your right hand? Yes. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of President of the Board of Education
of the office of President of the Board of Education
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now that we have a president of the board, I'll turn over the floor to Mr. Dore as president for the election of vice president if the board so chooses.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. For Vice President, I would like to nominate Mark Levenstein.
Ask if there's any other nominations, sir.
Are there any other nominations?
Are there any other board members that would like to nominate anybody else for office of vice president? As the clerk, I'll call the roll. Mr. Levenstein? Yes. Ms. Politti?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Dore?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
I will administer the oath of office to the vice president, Mr. Levenstein. Raise your right hand and repeat after me, sir. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of vice president
of the office of Vice President
of the Board of Education
of the Board of Education
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
I do? Oh, man, I'm going to miss you. Mr. Levenstein, too, all right?
Am I moving too?
Please.
Yes, sir. I'll switch seats.
Good evening. This is quite an honor. It was not anticipated, but sometimes circumstances put you in positions that your life is not planning on. I guess I'll use the word collaborative, something we may have been missing the last few months. But we're going to have a collaborative effort with the goal always being the scholars of the district. We want to do our best. We have an awful lot of work to do. We have some catching up to do. But I will tell you this, we're not in a crisis mode. I don't panic. I've been in many situations worse than this. I don't panic. We have an outstanding team going around the table. Mr. Bergarelli brings a lifetime of experience in law enforcement. Letitia Politi brings a lifetime of experience and still working as an educator. Mr. Howard, from the community, a firefighter in the community for years, truly my mentor for the last, as long as I've been here, and quite a nice relationship. Mr. Levenstein, a member of the community, has a business in the community, longtime member. He teaches me so much. Between the two people I've sat with, I have learned an awful lot. And to my left, I believe Dr. Manny Campbell is one of the best leaders I've ever met. And I think we're going to give her an opportunity to lead. All right? I don't believe the board should. We provide oversight. We don't provide her leadership to the district. That's her job. So we're going to see something different. I think we're going to see Dr. Manny Campbell get to do the job we hired her for, which is to lead the district, increase the attendance of the scholars, increase the grades of the scholars, work with the educators. She's going to be great. So this is a collaborative effort, and I look forward to it very much. So thank you for your confidence. Yes, sure.
So I just want to say I've been looking forward to this moment for a really long time. I'm looking forward to the collaboration. I'm looking forward to the continued work that we have to do on behalf of our scholars. I'm so excited to have an opportunity to work with all of you and to move forward together. Thank you so much, Mr. Duray, Mr. Levenstein. Thank you, trustees. Thank you for your commitment and your dedication. Thank you.
I'm sorry. On the agenda, we have items 3.1, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Thank you, Mr. President. So on the Human Resources agenda, I have one item, and that is a resolution to approve the NASA retirements.
Entertain a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on this item? Oh, Mr. Howard.
Yes. Through you to the superintendent, so as I look at the professional retirement list, I see a name, Mr. Mateo Dotto, the executive high school principal, NFA North. That's going to be a huge loss in what we're doing in the district. I was curious, is there a plan in place with this, or did this shock you, or did you know this was going to happen? Because we have some critical time in front of us in regards to what we're doing with the high school, and I was just curious, is there a plan in place? Or is that too early of a question?
I can tell you that I agree that all of the administrators listed who are retiring have made a huge impact. I do understand that having Mr. Dotto leave us is really huge. I actually have spent lots of time with him. Even up until today, I stopped by and we talked some more. Please understand that, you know, this is his legacy, and he's an integral part of our community, and lots of what he has put in place will remain based on who he is and the training that he has provided to the school community, and I think there's more to come.
Any more discussion on this item? Call the roll.
Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Doré?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Regrettably, yes.
Mr. President, I'd like to request permission to add an item.
And I say, yes.
Be it resolved that the
Point of
board...
order. I believe we need to go into executive session before anything gets added, sir. You should entertain a motion on 4.1, executive session.
I'd like to entertain a motion for 4.1, moving to executive session.
So move.
Second.
There may be action afterwards.
Okay.
Motion.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby recesses into executive session for the following purpose: employment history of certain pediatrical employees and to obtain advice from legal counsel. The board may take action after executive session.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Doré?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Jim, start the... Can you refresh? Yes.
Good? Okay. We're going to turn it over to Mr. McLemore for a resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I add an item?
Yes.
Be it resolved that the board hereby approves an employment-related agreement with Ventura Lopez as presented to the board at this meeting. A copy of said agreement shall be incorporated by reference within the minutes of this meeting, and be it further resolved that the board hereby accepts Mr. Lopez's letter of resignation effective close of business on June 30th, 2024.
Motion to accept.
So point of order, you need to entertain a motion to add the item first.
So moved.
Roll call.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Doré?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Now that the item's been added, sir, now we need to entertain a motion to approve the employment-related agreement.
A motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Point of order.
Oh,
Could we
discussion.
have the agreement opened for public viewing at this point?
Mr. Niblo, can you open up at that attachment that's there? Can you just scroll through the bottom?
Can we enlarge it a bit?
Just scroll all the way through it, Mr. Niblo. Keeps going. Just one more page after that. Yeah, keep going, Jim. There should be another. Oh, pull up. Yeah, there it is.
A motion to accept. Or discussion.
Any discussion?
Any discussion on this item? Call the roll.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Doré?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes my item.
I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Doré?
Yes.
Mr. Howard? Mr. Levinstein?
Yes.
Ms. Politi?
Yes.
Mr. Bergarelli?
Yes.